Bitcoin officially has broken Wall Street, and the DOJ and Cynthia Lummis, of all people, is trying to break Binance. Welcome to today's episode of Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our beautiful studio in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. On today's show, I am joined by my favorite co-host who is sitting next to me today, and that is Seth. Mind your biz, Seth. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, and I really appreciate you guys having me back on. Yeah, returning co-host and still champion of the pepperonis. Yes, I think I was.
You still got the belt?
Part of it, I was supposed to do this. This doesn't start, but I wanted to just remind the audience that whether or not I'm wearing pants,
doesn't matter.
Proof. You can't prove it. You can't prove whether or not I am. So
I can. Okay, I will keep my mouth shut. But it's interesting your shoe choice you wore today. I'm not gonna say. Seth was gracious enough. So Rob today had to handle some personal business. He has a lot of doctor's appointments and follow-ups and stuff. So we gave him some time off. And Seth was gracious enough to bless us and co-host today's show. So Seth, thank you, my friend. We appreciate having you back. We love your input and knowledge, and I'm excited to talk about everything we got on deck today. But first, I do want to thank our sponsors. So today's 4K stream is brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology. And I truly mean it when I say this, guys. If it was not for these guys, their support staff, we would not be able to launch in 4K. We were having so many issues after we upgraded to fiber. And we were on the phone for countless hours at a time. Their team was helping us put everything in place that we needed to launch a 4K stream. And so big thank you to them. And if you want the same for your business, for your networking, IT, and cybersecurity, visit BlueWireTech.com. Also, big thank you to Radix for sponsoring today's show as well. We are having OkiSwap joining us on Monday, the top decks in Radix. So excited to get some perspective on building on a true layer one DeFi platform and everything Radix. So go check out radixdlt.com if you want to learn more about their ecosystem and roadmap. Now, Seth, not sure how often you watch our show. You're a busy man. You're a busy man. You travel a lot. But we start the show off, and we like to kind of ease everyone in, right, to the information and the content. We like to put smiles on people's faces. And so we have our Twitter funny segment here. And, well, the first thing, have you ever heard of a blind long jump?
No, I haven't. I can't say that I haven't.
You don't have to envision what it looks like, pun intended, because I have a video here for you. This is what it actually looks like. And, well, what could go wrong in a blind long jump?
Oh, no. Come on.
Completely. Like,
man.
I don't know. I can feel that pain in my leg.
You don't?
Like,
No, that guy popped right back up. Like, you know
Yeah,
what?
but you know he's
this
in
is
pain,
normal.
dude.
This is just like
No.
practice.
Come on, man. You know the guy's in pain.
No, he's got no tailbone left. This guy, if he's a professional blind long jumpist, I don't know, but whatever his title is,
He
right?
identifies as a long jumper.
Right, but this guy has done that easily 100 times in
You
the
think
last
so?
2 months. Yeah, oh yeah, easy.
I sense a skin graft might be coming here on his right thigh. Anyways,
Doesn't have any tight.
he doesn't have any thighs left. They're all gone. And here is a visual representation of me in the morning with my alarm clock. And, of course, me being the cat and my alarm clock being this annoying bird. I wish Robin was here. I talk so much crap about it because he's a big bird guy.
You've been saving this.
Yeah. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Get shut. And then look at the bird just acts all surprised. All right. Then we have, oh, God. Stupid things you shouldn't try with your homies, part 1.
Tranquilo. Just because.
Oh, the fireworks, Rocco. So he's trying to light the firework out the sunroof, and he clips the edge, and so the firework falls in the car. And keep the volume up, Rocco, because you just hear the fireworks start to go.
The miedo, just the miedo.
You know, when the stick's broken off, you know what we call those?
What?
We call them a cholo chaser because you just like you throw it out on the street, and then the homies just have to run.
Cholo chaser.
It's a cholo chaser.
Okay. Might have to put that in my arsenal.
Why are you laughing?
This one kind of tells the story in itself.
Oh, geez. No way.
Careful with the high pressure washer, guys, okay? Why would you high pressure wash a car, right? Can't you break like a window and dent the car, right? I mean,
Like
people just
that.
aren't the brightest these days. Seth, a lot of a lot of guys get weird around, their friends when they're eating like a banana or a popsicle. It's like you gotta like adjust the way you eat it.
True.
And here's a new way. Just take a knife and cut. How do you eat a popsicle in a room full of men?
I'm not even mad.
And then, if Moses had a smartphone, about to split this sea.
Oh, jeez.
AI is amazing, right? Speaking of smartphones and land of social media, so this is very interesting. This has been a rapid proliferation of stream farms popping up all over the world. The explicit purpose of these farms is to repeatedly play a specific video, song, or act as a viewer during live streams. So we always wonder, there's some streams.
How many faking they streams, getting they plays from
Some streams have a lot of like live viewers, but just no one really chatting in the chat. So I always wonder, like, are these bots? And well, here's, I guess, part of the answer here. Um,
Okay.
what I'm just curious on your take on this. Do you think this happens more often than not? Not even just in our space, but in any space in general, to pump up numbers and get advertisers and sponsors to sponsor your channel? Well, what are your, and is this fair
Yes.
game, or what do you
Well, so I've got a little bit of insight into this. You know that part of the reason that I don't stream as often as I used to, and part of the reason that I'm sort of like I have the minimum viable participation, right, in sort of YouTube shows these days, is because of this, right? Familiarity breeds contempt. I've seen this so many times since as early as 2011, and doing growth hacking for Dell at the time. I was working at a marketing agency. Digital marketing has increasingly become synonymous with growth hacking.
Right.
What is growth hacking? It means by any conceivable means you achieve the numbers, like you're saying. So bigger number usually means more sponsorship, mass impressions versus actual activation or engagement. Some advertisers don't care, others do. But I'm going to pump up your tires here. That's why you always see me stop by the studio when I'm in Las Vegas, because y'all have the best organic audience in crypto. Period. So no bots needed. No bots need apply. But it's becoming fair game because the landscape is it's kind of validating the dead internet theory of anywhere from 50 to 70% of all traffic on all platforms being not real.
How crazy is that? I read that, and I've seen numbers as high as 75, 80%.
I believe it.
That's insane. That means it's only 20% of what you see happening on the internet, the views, the back and forths, is real humans.
Yeah.
That number, I had a hard time wrapping my head around it. But I was going to say, we're proud to announce here on Sin City Crypto, we have not paid a single dollar for a subscriber, for a Twitter follower, for anything. Everything has been 100% organic. Speaking of organic content creators and amazing people, Jenna X is in the chat. Jenna, how you doing? Jenna, I am formally on the show inviting you to run it back on Halloween with us on Tuesday. I think Sailor's coming back, and we have a brand new one joining us this Halloween. So I don't know if you want to miss it, but the formal invite is there. I believe one of us texts you as well. Me or Rob text you.
And hey, Jenna, third time's the charm getting you on my channel, because we've had 2 scheduled dates that dropped out.
Damn, are you
Right
putting
there.
my friend Jenna on blast? Damn, Jenna.
But in a nice way,
Okay.
on blockchain.
Fair enough. On blockchain. Verifiable on the blockchain. We haven't had Jenna on our show in a long time. Jenna's awesome. We love her insight into all things XRP. Then we have this. Coming to a theater near you soon, Sam Bankman-Fried is going to testify today. Right now, he's testifying. But the thing is, cameras aren't allowed. So this isn't a public thing. So we can't watch videos and listen in. But I would recommend following this one, guys. This Twitter handle here, Inner City Press, because this gentleman here is literally live tweeting word for word everything that is being said in court with the whole Sam Bankman-Fried thing. And bam, here you go.
This has been fascinating, by the way. I don't know how.
It's crazy, right?
Or if they allow for what if they do allow for people to do audio notes or something? Maybe he's using an AI transcription service or something.
That's because this is
he's
pretty
grinding
fast.
it out. Yeah, it's been impressive.
This is pretty fast. So I haven't read these, so let's just read one of them. So what communication platform did FTX use? Telegraph, Slack, and Signal. Okay, so never mind that one. Where's we were headquartered in Hong Kong. There were some security concerns, while they were also former employees might have data to sell to a competitor. Did FTX get hacked? Never a core breach, but third parties were hacked. Huh. Do you remember, Seth, when they shut him down and all of a sudden a day later they were hacked for $350 million? Now he's saying
Pepper's Farm members.
Pepper's Farm members.
Yeah.
Never a core breach, but a third party was hacked. What do you think that means?
Yeah,
What do
what I
you-
think that means is sort of the same thing that Silicon Valley and the Fortune 50 have been doing for the better part of 15, 20 years. When you have enough subcontractors that are in your organization, everything has plausible deniability, right? Oh, they were hacked, but you know what? They're not our core group. We don't know. I mean, they run our security, right, for the server farm, but like they're not our core group. We don't know those guys.
That sounds so ridiculous when you say it.
But here's the thing: it's this open secret for the longest time, and I know because any of like my CV stuff where it looks really impressive and it's like, oh, I worked for this company or something, dude. All that stuff was third party contracted labor. It was never direct. I never worked directly for any of those companies, and I know the kind of stuff they let us do. I can imagine it's that the rabbit hole goes way deeper in terms of the whole like, oh, so and so said this, we don't know them,
Right.
like they're not us.
Of course. We didn't know how he was when we hired him. You know, it's crazy. So I will keep a personal eye on this as well, because I'm curious as Sam continues to talk. Let me ask you this question, Seth. You're a pretty intelligent guy. Sam Trabucco, nowhere to be found, right? The former CEO of Alameda, the former CEO. He was there in the thick of things, and he left right before everything went under, right? A lot of people are saying, was he like a CIA operative or was he a mole put in to the FT? I mean, it's a little odd, right? I mean, they got people from FTX, from Alameda, friends, family, but no Sam Trabucco.
Yeah. So to your insinuation there, is he a CIA asset or some other Fed asset? I mean, I think that the bottom line is, David, either sooner or later, he's going to pay like whatever the price is, right? They're going to get their pound of flesh from Sam Trabucco, but it might have been early on. So in the form of some kind of like secret deal, backdoor deal, not an outright plea bargain because he's no longer part of the public proceedings, but something along those lines, either an informant or a secret plea bargain of some type or secret deal. But there's no way that he's not involved. He's just not involved publicly. That's my like where my mind goes.
But not
whether or not
even-
it's CIA specifically or some,
But not
Fed
even
asset.
a witness? Like not even to testify? Nothing?
That's the shit. He has to have it. That's why it's so obvious that he's involved somehow. But that level of immunity, not being required to testify publicly,
Right.
means they already got what they need from
Right.
him, for sure. So whether it was like through direct cooperation with some three-letter agency, it'd be speculative, right? We don't know. We can't confirm that. But either being a direct Fed asset to some three-letter organization that was trying to get some of this to play out so that it'd be able to enact more regulation. And that's been the sort of the accusation of SBF over the last year, is people saying like, well, maybe this was all intentional. Maybe it was the whole thing was to try to create more legislation, right? So we had
Right.
more clear-cut regulation in place, but then you have some of these people who are just like, it becomes obvious when you look at some of these talking heads, right, and on Capitol Hill, and Elizabeth Warren in particular, that they're really not thinking that far in advance. They could not have been complicit in something that well thought out and well planned and executed. But yeah, maybe the central planners, the central planning committee of the Central Intelligence Agency, they're very good at this, right? This is a well-worn playbook of infiltrate, disrupt, and then roll out whatever spurious regulation the current administration wants to get into place. So I think your first guess, I mean, Occam's razor, bro. I think you cut to the heart of it. Frankly, it's probably some three-letter organization that was pulling some strings on Sam Trabucco, and that's how he's not in the limelight now, and probably never will be. If he isn't at this point,
Yeah.
no, they've got him squirreled away. He's got immunity, and he gave them everything they needed. So
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's very odd. I know a lot of people have pointed it out. I was just curious to get your take on it. What do you guys think? I want to know what the chat thinks. Is Sam Trabucco a CIA operative? Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no. Something interesting. It doesn't really matter a lot, but hey, what?
We say here.
What?
A three-letter agency. You don't say any YouTube.
Okay. Oh, my bad. Sorry. If you're watching CIA, don't cancel us.
I still say.
I know. Well, we do have Rocco was in the mafia, so he knows these things. Rocco, I apologize.
No, it was never.
Have your people call those people. Anyway, so we had GDP numbers come out today, and wow, the economy is doing so good. We're up 4.9. Now, these are the initial numbers, and they're going to get rewritten to death, right? Recalculated, re-released. 4.9% growth in domestic product. Okay. Now, the people, right, because we're coming up on an election year, they're going to point to this and say, oh, the economy is still growing. It's doing great. But let's dig a little deeper into the numbers, my friends. You guys know how GDP is measured? Consumer spending, government spending, institutional spending, net exports, okay? One of them, government spending. We know they've been spending a crap load of money, sending money here, sending money there, passing this bill, passing that bill, growing the Federal Reserve balance sheet. We also have inflation. So naturally, more money is being spent because prices are higher. Prices are higher. So, Seth.
Yeah.
You kind of agree with, what are your thoughts on this whole GDP growth and maybe share your perspective on the macro economy and what you believe we're going to see here in the next 12 to 18 or 12 to 24 months?
So first thing I think with GDP is that, it's a little bit like CPI. It's a made up number. Unfortunately, we don't have many actionable ways to verify what we're being told by the administration. So there is a fudge factor. What percentage it could be where they could outright lie to us, I don't know. I don't know how to calculate that number, but I am certain that there is a fudge factor, and then being able to release even just GDP, because it's one way that they can help validate all of the other lies that they've said in terms of CPI, in terms of money printing, in terms of the impact of debasement of our currency. So on the flip side, the other lie they can tell to make the numbers make sense, air quotes, is on GDP, telling us that may be a little bit overinflated, or just help it fit a narrative with whatever the administration wants to do next. Again, the name of the game, just like we were mentioning before, with every three-letter agency, is consolidate power in the hands of the federal government at large, and in particular, their organizations. So I'm worried about, first off, the report itself. That's the very first thing, is that I'm like, okay, I have so much doubt. I've lost so much trust with this administration, and frankly, just with the institution, right, of the office of the president, and every one of these reports coming out of these divisions of our government that are trying to tell us the story of how our money works and how our economy works. So that's my first thing, is I'm skeptical. Awesome. You can give this report. How much confidence can I really place in that report? And for me, I'm like, not much, not a whole lot. That said, any projections for improvement, I look at with doubt, because of how the real world CPI numbers are failing to help the average middle class American get by. So even if GDP does grow, I'm like, all right, cool story. So did our obligations, right? Our liabilities and our debt service here at home. Did you know that right now, for example, just in the automobile market, the subprime, the number of subprime auto loans that has reached 60 days delinquency? David, what would you guess that is in percentages?
60-day delinquency.
60-day delinquency in auto loans.
25%?
Close. 59.
59?
59%. We're coming up on 60% of auto loans being more than 60 days delinquent. So even if GDP grows, right, the projection for GDP grows, I'm like, all right, cool. Obviously, Americans are broke as a joke. And I think it's one of the biggest things. You can't even afford your wheels right now to get around town, let alone the gas to put into the freaking car. If they could tell me that we're going to see massive double-digit improvements in our GDP, right, in our economy here, in terms of GDP, and I'm like, it's not enough. It's still not enough. You can keep lying to us about how low CPI is. You can keep lying to us about how wages are improving, about how unemployment is decreasing, but I've lost all confidence in any of these reports.
You know, Seth, and you probably already knew this, but the way they measure CPI with the basket of goods, that changed this year. It used to go 2 years aggregate. Now it's only 1 year.
Okay.
So, and what you guys also got to remember, the fudge factor that Seth is talking about, they kind of have to, because if they report the actual inflation numbers, they have to make adjustments to Social Security and pay more money. And we all know Social Security is already going to be running out of money in the next less than 10 years because at the rate of baby boomers retiring, it's so off kilter right now. believe the number was we were at about 8 for every one person taking Social Security benefits. We were at 39 employees contributing to that one person. Now we're down to 3 to 1. So do the math with inflation. So I agree with Seth. There's always a fudge number. I just don't trust anything the government tells us. When the Secretary of Treasury comes out and says, yeah, we can afford 2 wars. You're 35 trillion in debt. What do you mean you can afford 2 wars?
Yeah, no, that and no thanks.
That was ridiculous.
My kids can't afford 2 wars. My sons can't afford 2 wars. My family will not be volunteering to bleed out on foreign soil.
Dude.
To ultimately backstop what you're saying you're going to print money to go do. I'm out with that program. We're done in our home. So yeah, there's a lot going on that just isn't adding up here. But it does all point to consolidation of power, right? Money is obviously meaningless now, right? It means absolutely nothing. They keep on printing more of it. It clearly means, well, almost totally nothing. Don't get me wrong. I'm still gonna, keep my lights on.
It's not a nothing burger. It's like a nothing taco, a little smaller.
Yes, right. And with a much worse for you crusty shell that will.
If you had to get rid of one forever, burgers or tacos, what would you get rid
Oh my gosh. Well, it's burgers. They got to go because tacos.
Tacos are light.
Way more varieties.
So good.
Yeah, can always make it better.
I've had a really good burger. Anyways, I haven't had breakfast this morning, as you can tell. Guys, if you're new here, please say hello. We love to personally give you a shout out. It was someone's birthday. Miguel Costa. Miguel, happy birthday, man. Said Robin's not here to give him an hola. But maybe Seth. Seth, can you give my friend Miguel an hola for his birthday?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I can't say it like Rob, but I can say it the Cuban way.
Que
hola sere.
Que hola sere.
Que hola sere.
Bro, okay, look, I speak a little Spanish, right?
Cumpleaños, que lo pase feliz.
I cannot, for the life of me, keep a conversation with a Cuban person. They speak so fast, and they always shorten every single word. I can be sitting there, and I'm like, what?
¿Qué te
Just
pasa a
like
ti?
a
¿Por qué
10
estás hablando mal de los
fly right
cubanos?
over
Los
my head.
cubanos nosotros, papi.
Hola, hola,
Te
bingo,
habla
hola,
papi.
hola,
Tú no
hola,
entiendes el
hola,
español y él habla el español y no
What?
habla.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yes. That's el
lot of
castellano callejero cubano.
I have a lot of Cuban friends. They're amazing. But I cannot speak Spanish. So I'm like, please,
La
let's switch.
isla.
Hit the button, switch to English. Okay.
We should do one show one day only in Spanish. That would be super
No
fun.
way.
Nobody's gonna understand what we say.
Seth, when I saw this morning, I was a little surprised, right? There's a few politicians we have that are extremely pro crypto, call them champions of our space, right? The likes of Tom Emmer, Cynthia Lummis, Patrick McHenry. Then I saw this, right? Cynthia Lummis tweeted this. When it comes to illicit finance, crypto is not the enemy, bad actors are. I sent a letter asking the Department of Justice to finish its investigation and consider criminal charges against Binance and Tether after reports they served as intermediaries for Hamas and engaged in illegal activities.
Senator Lummis, this is not the way. That's my knee-jerk response. This is not the way to pave a path towards clearer regulation and towards clearer interjurisdictional cooperation to deal with crypto-related crime. If you can prove that there's genuine crypto-related crime. I think there's more to it though, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you know what? You brought that up. Let me just go ahead and go through right here.
Because I think it's relevant, right? I mean,
it is very no. I'm happy you said
Tempest
that.
in a teapot.
Yeah, I was going there. So then you have this. Okay, so remember what she said. We should investigate Binance and Tether. They've been helping Hamas. Okay, Hamas, everything going on in Israel, the terrorist group. So this is from Cointelegraph, an article. No evidence Hamas is raising crypto donations by the millions. So if you guys missed it, there was a report put out by Elliptic saying, I forget the number was either 180 million or 93 million dollars was funneled, donated, raised, funneled for Hamas that they're linking to them using in the attacks they did on Israel. So people like Elizabeth Warren took that, ran to Congress with it, and said, hey guys, while all the emotions are high, let me point out, emotions are high, people are scrambling, there's no Speaker of the House, everyone is upset as they should be. They take this piece of information to Congress and say, guys, look what's happening. If this is what crypto is doing, they're harming our friends, they're killing people, it's a direct link. Come to find out, that number was reported inaccurately. Those estimations were completely inaccurate.
What?
It wasn't even close to 90 or 180 million. And let's listen to Senator Haggerty. And right here, let's listen to Senator Haggerty as he addresses this in a hearing today.
The Wall Street Journal recently reported that Hamas and Palestine Islamic Jihad, since 2021, have received roughly $130 million in crypto financing via offshore exchanges and platforms like Binance. It's important to note that these figures are disputed, and per independent analysis that was released just this week, could be overestimated by as much as 99%.
Could be overestimated by as much as 99%. 99%.
The data analytics firm cited in this Wall Street Journal report has even disputed the estimates that were reported, stating that there is no evidence to suggest that Hamas fundraised anything close to this $130 million reported. Make no mistake, any such funding is unconscionable and should be addressed in a thoughtful, targeted way in order to choke off these terrorists. But we should do this without pushing the crypto industry overseas.
Wait a second. Didn't the Obama administration literally airdrop, like with a parachute on a pallet, $400 million worth of cash to Iran?
That's the funny thing and
wouldn't those same funds be able to be distributed directly to Hamas?
And you can even take politics out of it. You can insert name here, but more cash is used for illicit funds because it's literally, you can't trace it, right? With crypto and blockchain, everything is public. It's a public ledger. It is a public ledger, okay? And you need these fiat on and off ramps to cash this out because crypto is not viable as a payment yet in most places. So don't sit there and tell us that crypto is only, if it wasn't for crypto, these people wouldn't have been able to raise the money. That's some utter and complete BS.
Yeah. So my issue also, okay, we'll take the POTUS's name from that administration out of the equation. Didn't a sitting president airdrop almost $500 million in cash to Iran?
They said 400 billion, not million. That's what Mike Goldman said. I don't know if he's correct.
400
I don't know the
billion?
exact number. But
I don't think that's quite right. You could be right that did an overall aid that was done, but I think that the literal physical airdrop of like shrink wrapped bundles of cash. I mean, like Pablo Escobar level shit, right? Like giant bundles of cash airdropped into Iran by one of our sitting presidents, and we're squabbling over whether or not maybe there was 130 million worth of crypto that potentially,
which is off by 99%. I mean.
Yeah, right? Like, as I said, but their worst case scenario is still like a third of what they provably, on the record, admitted to do. It's not like it was classified and then declassified. They told us they were going to do it, and they did it. They airdropped more cash, more like cash fiat notes to this same region in a way that it could be routed over to Hamas untraceably. And we gave them those means. Not to mention, of course, all the equipment we left behind for the Taliban to
What
borrow.
do you got here, Rocco? Oh, there's the money right there, Seth. The pallet of money right there.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and why do I, people like Mark Yusko and people smarter than me continuously said, we're in the they fight you stage. And I just look at, okay, what's the next thing, right? They can't do the whole mining is bad for the environment thing. ESG is gone. It's been proven that over 50% of the network uses renewable energy. They're using methane gas that is being trapped in the ozone layer. They're using that to mine the Bitcoin. They're actually probably helping the environment and helping these grids stabilize. So that's out the window. So what's the last bit of hope that they have is that crypto is used for illicit activity and illicit funds, right? And bad research and bad articles like what Wall Street Journal did leads to stuff like this. And I don't know if Senator Lummis doesn't know that it was revised, but Seth, you mentioned before I showed the other stuff, this is not the right way to go about it. Why not? Right? And let me play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Not saying this is what I agree with.
All right.
But if in fact the people at Binance, I'm not even going to say CZ, the people at Binance and Tether, if they are continuously to manipulate, intermingling customer funds, not being bad actors, essentially, shouldn't we want them out of our space? And shouldn't we want our politicians and our regulators to do what she's saying they're doing, wipe the slate completely clean and be able to move forward as an industry to be taken seriously? That's what some people might say. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I think that part of the reason that that what Senator Loomis is doing here is the wrong approach is because first she latched onto a narrative that was not verified, right? First off. And we went over there to clear the air, right? So Senator Loomis, if for whatever reason this reaches you, this hits your desk, please revise your position here based on just the total damage alone. But beyond that, you're putting the onus of discovery and of enforcement and of blockchain intelligence onto these issuers, both Binance and Tether. Well, Tether is not in the business of doing chain analysis. They don't do chain analysis. When there's some kind of an official exploit proven, and there's law enforcement, whether it's Interpol or any other like nation state level like law enforcement, or it's more local law enforcement, even an FBI can contact Tether and let them know, hey, we have an ongoing investigation. We think there's strong reason to believe that this wallet address corresponds to bad actors. They would need to wait for that request. If anything, what she should be doing is urging them, like, hey, make sure that there's a much better canary system, right? Like people should just these bad actors, if they're bad actors, they should be put on notice that there's an investigation pending any activity related to them and related to the stable coins that are out in circulation. But for her to just make it sound like it's their job to be the police for them, these are not government institutions. They're not law enforcement institutions.
Right.
I mean, the one is a struggling exchange, centralized exchange, because of restrictions being placed on them precisely due to outcry like this.
And Seth, to be fair, I know I play devil's advocate, but to be fair to Binance and Tether's, to be fair to them, I believe, and I'm not saying every single time, but they have been extremely cooperative when they're told, freeze this account, freeze these funds. They've done it.
Yes.
When it's been actually linked to bad actors and illicit activity, they've frozen those accounts. And to your point, I agree. Like, what is Coinbase and Binance and KuCoin? They're supposed to be like the DOJ and the clearinghouse and also like what? They're a centralized exchange. They're a median they're a median place for people to exchange their fiat to cryptocurrency and vice versa. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And beyond that, where's there been any kind of outcry like this that went towards Circle Group? And I have nothing against Circle Group, but Circle Group and USDC, when USDC has been used in high-profile crimes, because it has been. And we do have we've got the example of a bridge exploit. We're forgetting which bridge exploit it was, because right, I mean, we
Ronin, Wormhole,
Fast and Furious, right? We saw so many.
Fast and Furious.
But I mean, yeah, they were just passing by us last bear cycle. Like, I mean, there's no comparison. We've never lost so much money to exploits. But Tether was more responsive and proactive once because it was an exploit and a hack, an obvious hack, versus cryptos being used in their intended purpose, right? Permissionlessly. It was an obvious hack. And Tether was first to freeze funds on the other end of the attackers. They were their first movers before Circle and USDC. And again, I have nothing against Circle. I'm just saying that in the case of genuine, provable fraud and manipulation and a bridge hack, Tether acted first. They helped to protect investor interests first without being asked to do it. So stuff like this is disingenuous. You're making it sound like it's always their job to be 3 steps ahead of government and law enforcement, and they should just know what all the terrorist wallets are, and they should just have them all blacklisted and hand that over to the DOJ. That's crazy. First off, to be able to expect that, but beyond that, to ignore the track record of them being good faith actors and trying to stop criminals as proactively as they can when they know they're real criminals. It's kind of like, this is very clearly promoting a narrative of being anti-Binance and anti-Tether. Well, why would you do that? Because Tether and Binance are not explicitly 150% pro-American. And they're not out there saying like, oh yeah, we're here only to serve the interests and agenda of the United States government. They're very friendly internationally, right? So they're useful. They've made themselves more useful by not just being puppets of the American government. So I know that's why they've got the target on their back.
Yeah.
But Senator Loomis, this is not the way. We need to just come up with better solutions that the free market adopts and says, yeah, this is bloody useful, so we're going to use it internationally. We have all of the interest, and Circle is in a good position to continue to win market share that way. But give incentives. Don't prop up obviously false narratives about Hamas being the recipients of like some direct access or aid from Binance and Tether. That Binance and Tether didn't directly try to aid Hamas.
Right.
And now, again, you said the narrative is falling apart. even if they were complicit in some way, it would have been to the tune of $130 million at most. But that was all bullshit. Like, so I don't think this is a bad look for Senator Loomis, who's done so much good work. Please pivot. Please retract your statement. Please revise it and come up with something more proactive yourself to reach out to them. If you really want their cooperation and their help, don't try to bring some kind of charges to them for not doing your job. Do your job, contact them, and open a better partnership.
It's like you trying to chase me and try to, kill me and then reach me. Like, hey, look, man, I know I've been trying to harm you the whole time. I need your help, man. Help me out. And I agree with what you said. Marcelo said, Rocco, you scroll up a little bit. If you want to get rid of bad actors, look no further than the entire government. Couldn't agree more. The only difference with crypto is that nothing can be hidden. Couldn't agree more. You're 100% right.
You know what's funny, though? The FBI level, I think, and I'm forgetting, I'm going to totally murder the attribution here, but there was an FBI special agent or part of the crypto task force who went on record as saying, yeah, we wish more criminals would use crypto.
Yeah, yep.
Because that makes their job way easy.
Yeah, because you can trace it, right? You just got to understand how blockchains work. You can trace it. So we got 193 people watching and only 91 likes, guys. Let's have a moment here. Why have you not liked the video? Is it because you don't like Seth? Is it because Seth is leaving? Seth just left. Good job, guys. You made him leave. Oh, he's back.
I bring gifts.
Seth brings gifts. And do us a favor, guys. Like the video. It helps YouTube see that, hey, maybe this is a good show. Maybe we should bring more people into the show. And so do us a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Also, if you're new here, say hello. Love to personally welcome you. And in honor of the glory hole, apparently, when I was gone on vacation, these sickos, sick human beings.
I love that there's a macro for him to just run that back like a soundboard. It's like, it's right there at the ready. He's like,
disgusting.
Never living that down.
Disgusting human beings. Now, what's not disgusting is the price of crypto. Let's get into the markets here. So crypto is continuing to, well, not really pumping like it did, but it is holding steady. $1.27 trillion, 54 billion trading volume. Bitcoin dominance remains above 53%. Speaking of Bitcoin, above 34K, down 1.5% over the 24 hours, but creeping up on the 1 hour. ETH, $15 under $1,800. BNB, oh, sorry, Bitcoin, not yet. Okay, gotta go to the rest of the market. BNB at $221. XRP 55 cents. Solana $31.53. Cardano has moved 17.75% over the last 7 days. Doge and Tron. Yay, Tron. In the top 10. Chainlink, $10.50, up 43% over last week. And then taking a quick look at the crypto bubbles. My boy Jimmy got to be happy. Jimmy, you see this? You are the proud recipient and owner of the largest green bubble of the day here, my friend. If you guys don't know, Jimmy is a gala whale. Not just any whale, a blue whale. Blue whales are they're the largest mammal in the world, right? Blue whales?
That sounds right.
That sounds right. We're going to roll with that. So Jimmy is the largest whale mammal of the galaxy. So I don't know where the hell I'm
And I've heard it on good authority that he is not feeling suicidal.
He's
just saying.
I would never. Anything kind of stick out at you, Seth? Do you believe overall, because we see the flow of money, right? Bitcoin pumps, then Ethereum pumps, and then people take those profits, put it into these alts, rinse, repeat. You think we're going to see more of the same, or what are your thoughts? Anything different you're seeing in the markets, and just general thoughts here? Keep it kind of general for you.
Yeah, no, so yesterday I mentioned that anybody who's new to markets hasn't seen them before, like be aware that you could be witnessing your first bull trap. We saw a little pullback right now between yesterday and today, but nothing major. And I mean, it looks like if 34 is holding pretty well, it looks like there's a really good reason to believe in the bullish sentiment, right? That said, the fear and greed index, for me, I use it as a counter indicator. So as soon as it starts going green, the way we're seeing it right now, on the fear and greed index, or the fear and greed scale, I start to get a little bit antsy. I'm just built that way. Right? Whatever. I go to the stoplight. When I see yellow, I speed up. When I see red, I hit the gas. When I see green, I'm like, I slam on the brakes.
What if you see light green?
Man, and that's just it. It's not quite strong enough for me to say definitely pump the brakes, but it does look like there's bullish sentiment for good reasons. And we've needed all these narratives to be validated over the last couple of years. The whole hedge against inflation didn't work out the way we thought it would. The first time that we started to see massive problems with inflation and starting to make, on the streets, seeing obvious double-digit inflation, Bitcoin didn't do its job at all. In fact, it's fiat-denominated value. If you adjusted for inflation, it did not do even close to doing its job. So now I've been very cautious over the last year, and seeing this finally, good news appear out of like such a bad news cycle, bad run of bear market vibes. I'm still a little bit incredulous, man. I'm like, okay, I can't bring myself to fully believe
You're scorned.
that we're off to the races. And I'm
Scorned.
I'm not out there like revenge trading or anything, like putting in orders to go get myself wrecked. But I'm still kind of like, all right, cautiously optimistic. How do I work with my portfolio? In my mind, with caution. If that means I lose 30% of the potential upside, fine. But if I can live with gains and not getting wrecked, I'm just a little bit more conservative, man. That's more fundamentally an investor than a trader. So
Let me ask you this question. So throughout the majority of Bitcoin's history, it's traded alongside the stock market, like a risk-on asset, right? Do you think you feel comfortable saying we've decoupled?
oh yeah, I mean it's a fact that we've decoupled if the data feeds are all true. If the data feeds are all true, we've decoupled.
Well, I was hoping you say no because I was gonna prove you wrong, but I'm gonna prove you right.
Okay.
I'm gonna prove you right. And for those of you that are saying no, let me share some evidence with you. The S&P has officially erased $4 trillion in market value since its July 27th high. In 3 months, the S&P has dropped 430 points and stands less than 1% away from correction territory. The exact top in the S&P 500 came on the same day that the Fed removed their recession from their forecast. As markets fall to their lowest level since May of 2023, we are in a much different environment. Last time the S&P was at current levels, 3 rate cuts were priced in for 2023. Obviously, I feel like we can all agree we're not going to get any rate cuts anytime soon, unless something tragic happens in the economy. Now rates are higher and futures are no longer showing rate cuts until July of 2024. Our stocks pricing in a recession. And then we have this in purple, we have Bitcoin. In teal, the NASDAQ. Yellow, the Dow Jones. And the very bottom teal number here, that is the S&P 500. So ask yourself this question. If I'm going to ask you the same question, chat. Has Bitcoin, and I'm just talking about Bitcoin here, has it officially decoupled from trading like a risk on assets like stocks?
David, I feel like this is a segment in like Sesame Street or something. You're showing the chart. You're proving that it's decoupled. You're like, okay, kids, one more time.
That was a good show.
Has it decoupled?
Well, here's the thing, man, is some people are so, and this goes to some content creators as well. I'm not going to name any specific ones, but it's like they have this narrative, right? I have narratives too. And example, I had a negative narrative on Solana, right? I was bashing Solana. And then as time went on, my narrative shifted because the issues I had, they were being resolved. And so I was not afraid to come out and say, hey guys, I'm changing my narrative. This is the new information. This is why. Or I was not bullish on a project, or I didn't like what they were doing, but I was either wrong but some people just can't do that, right? You have this narrative of Bitcoin trades like a tech stock. Bitcoin is just, it's affected by macro. You say it so much, you're in your own echo chamber, you're blinded by actual facts, statistics, and charts. So, and I know there's some people still out there that are doing this, and which leads me to this. BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes says this catalyst will push Bitcoin and crypto in a full swing. And it's not an ETF, like a majority of people, including myself, say. Hayes expresses his opinion that United States President Joe Biden is committing the U.S. to another open-ended conflict via its support of Israel. And guys, I am not showing this to get political on this because we are not a political show. We are a cryptocurrency show. But here's what he said. Directly after Biden's speech, Bitcoin, along with gold, is rallying against the backdrop of an aggressive sell-off in long-end U.S. treasuries. This isn't speculation as to an ETF being approved. This is Bitcoin discounting a future very inflationary global world war situation. And the end game, when yields get too high, is for the Fed to end all pretense that the U.S. Treasury market is a free market. Rather, it will become what it truly is. Potemkin? Do you know what that is? Potemkin?
Yeah, Potemkin.
Potemkin. I'm
Yeah.
not very smart. What does that mean?
Wow.
Potemkin Village.
Yeah. So Potemkin is this is a throwback to the former Eastern Bloc, man. It is bad stuff, but they lay it out here. The way in which it's like a Potemkin village, right? Where they're fixing the level of interest at politically expedient levels, and it's kind of what we laid out before. We drew out this explanation of the propaganda machine telling you this is so great, like this is so great that these levels are finally under control, and you can afford basic necessities again. And we're actually going to the market and the gas station, and paying our utilities and stuff, and saying, wait a second, huh? This narrative doesn't hold up. But in the eyes of anybody consuming the propaganda, they're like, oh, this is the model village, of Potemkin.
Like my friend Rocco here pulling up Google. Having a false or deceptive appearance, especially one presented for the purpose of propaganda.
Yeah.
So it says, in a village where the Fed fixes the level of interest at politically expedient levels, once everyone realizes the game we are playing, the Bitcoin and crypto bull market will be in full swing. This is the trigger, and it's time to start rotating out of short-term U.S. Treasury bills and into crypto. So, no specific questions, Seth, but please.
No, I think this is kind of, in particular, their use of that phrase, Potemkin village, is kind of validating the anti-government sentiment that I was voicing earlier. Like, I just don't trust most of the picture being portrayed for us or to us. And Arthur Hayes, guys, certified gangster, right? In the crypto ecosystem, right? Like, he was printing money the fair and ethical way by making people think that they wanted to use massive leverage and getting wrecked. Like, hey, it's the American dream, right? Like, hey, what am I offering you? A shot, just one opportunity. Are you going to make it? 80% no.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, absolute, like, crypto ride or die. He's going to be here with us for a long time, dropping alpha like this. And he's surrounded by smart people.
Do you agree with him?
I do agree with him. Yes.
I do too.
Yeah. So
I do too.
now I've got a little something, the tidbit. We talked about this briefly. I saw that news article. I realized his former right hand, Arthur Hayes' former right hand person. I did an interview with them not long ago. It's still unreleased. So maybe that's coming out on Mind Your Biz in the next 3 days or so. Maybe be tuned in.
What?
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
Rocco, can we put his YouTube channel link in the description?
Yep.
Any okay, for just our audience, because I'm a community first guy.
I'm
I love our
overusing this thing.
community. Can you give us a little, maybe a little taste, a little appetizer, a little amuse-bouche of what we can expect, or maybe like a little piece? I don't know, man. It's just, what do
Did you
think?
just use a gourmet term?
I did.
Wow. Fancy. I got to pinky up on the water.
We'd love to hear maybe some little insight, some first mover advantage here. Anything
got
you
it.
can share with us?
Yeah. So something I can share is that Arthur Hayes, again, being a badass certified gangster in the crypto ecosystem. What's one thing that every single one of these characters has in common? Like CZ, like Arthur Hayes. Again, you don't have to agree with Binance. You don't have to agree with BitMEX. You don't have to agree with the products or the platforms that they offer. But again, these are some of the OG ride or dies. The thing that they all have in common is that they surround themselves with some of the smartest people you've never met. And if you ever get a chance to meet or hear from them, you'll be like, holy cow, I need like a mastermind session with these like 15 people who nobody in the world seems to know has been orchestrating products like BitMEX, and who were poached, from former giants like PayPal and these other giant groups, where they realized the opportunity in Bitcoin and in cryptocurrencies so early on that they built all of this sort of messy middle layer of leverage platforms, custody, even Coinbase, right? Like some of these people who are behind the scenes. That's the bit of alpha I can drop there, is that these are people who you actually need to know, but who you didn't know existed 5 years ago.
So you said in about 3 days?
Yeah, sometime in the next 3 days. Just, I mean, hey,
I'm definitely looking forward to it. Guys, we did pin Mind Your Biz, the YouTube channel, in the chat. So go subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed yet. We're looking forward to that video. So we'll keep our notifications pinged there for you, my friend. But I also agree with Arthur. And I think it's part of the decoupling is people are tired. There is so much trust loss in the government. People are tired of working their ass off to only watch their purchasing power completely erode because of power and money-hungry politicians that sit at their high throne on Capitol Hill and make decisions with our money that we pay them to sit there. We pay those people salaries. They're supposed to work for us, but they don't. They work for themselves and for their special interests. And who does it harm? It harms us, the average person who works their ass off, who just wants to provide for their family, have a nice house, have a decent income, not have to stress out, take 1 or 2 vacations a year, spend time with family, but we can't because we're constantly being manipulated. Our money is being screwed around with, and we're left holding the bag. We're going to be left holding a $35 trillion bag. Us, our kids, our grandkids, it's completely bullshit, and people are sick of it, as they should be. And here comes Bitcoin and crypto, a knight in shining armor, no government entity, not controlled, not politically charged. Crypto, blockchain does not give 2 shits what ethnicity you are, what way you vote, how much money you have, who you talk to, who you don't talk to. They don't care. You got money in your wallet? You got fees? You got money to pay transaction fees? Cool. Here you go. Use the blockchain. Send money here. Send money there. Use it. So I completely agree with Arthur. I think that's part of why we're seeing this split of Bitcoin specifically decoupling from trading on a risk-on asset. Just take a look at the last year and a half. How has Bitcoin performed when things like inflation are high, or the Fed is out of line, or another war is launched, or another more money's being printed? Look, or a bank collapses. Look at how Bitcoin has reacted and extrapolate that moving forward. And it's pretty clear to me that we are sick. People around the world, not just here in the US, are sick of politicians literally ruining our lives, ruining the monetary landscape. And we have an outlet now, which we never had. It's here now, guys. We have an outlet, and that outlet is crypto, and that is why we're in the space.
Facts. Preach. Can't agree more. Can't agree more in more strong terms. Something I'll add to that is the irony of characters like Arthur Hayes talking about it in this way is that, what does he do? He runs an exchange platform where you do need to custodially give them access to your crypto, let them hold it for you, and then we'll offer you leverage. So do be careful, right? I mean, I'm a firm believer in everything he says, but everything he does, I'm not a big fan of BitMEX or trading with leverage at all. That's just me. So
that's fair.
So he is. I think he's singing from the right psalm book there, but I think his business is playing from the wrong playbook, running the wrong drill from the wrong. I'm mixing metaphors.
Well, here's that. Well, okay, or maybe let me play devil's advocate here again. Maybe he realizes that that there is going to be people who don't want to custody or have their own wallets or hold their own coins. They want a centralized entity they can just pass that risk on to. And maybe he understands that and he decided to capitalize on it, because we can sit here and say self-custody is the best way to go. I self-custody all my crypto. I'm sure Seth does. I know Rocco does. I don't know what Robin does. I'm kidding. I don't even know if he has any crypto, but if he does, he would self. No one knows what Robin does actually, except eat roast beef sandwiches.
Crypto now.
Roast beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
You know, Seth. So someone told me I should be a roast beef sandwich for Halloween. Why is that funny? Because that's what landed Robin in the hospital.
Oh my gosh!
How messed up is that?
Yeah, but
That's
you
very,
showed the
very
video
messed
with
up.
the slicer, with the foot
Oh,
slicer.
God,
that is indeed very. I mean, seriously. Thank goodness it didn't get any more dire. Because can you imagine? He'd be like,
No,
on his
all
deathbed,
jokes
he'd be like,
aside.
like roast beef sandwiches. Why? I can't believe it ended like this.
Give me
What a world.
One more, the last.
So I lied. Not all jokes aside. All jokes inside. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Anyways, what was I saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
Roast beef sandwiches.
No, we can all sit here and we can all agree, us watching, who understand, who are passionate, who want to take the time, learn, and don't mind doing it to custody our own crypto, use it ourselves. But you guys got to understand, a majority of people are not like us. They're not. That's why you're sitting here and you've been watching this channel for the last year when everything's been tanking. You are not the same. You're not cut from the same cloth as the average American, as the average citizen. You're not. People want convenience. They're lazy. What's quick, what's fast, what's in front of me, that's what they want. And so
It was none of
ask yourself this question. Would you rather have those people in our ecosystem, but via a centralized entity, or not in it at all? I'm not even saying from a number go up standpoint. I'm just saying, if you truly realize and understand how amazing crypto and blockchain is, would you rather them have no exposure at all because self-custody is the only way, or would you rather them have an option, an exit valve to use a centralized entity? My answer would be I'd rather have them in than not have them in at all.
I think if that was the only choice, I would totally agree. But I do think that we're finally starting to see some third-party sort of hybrid approaches to self-custody, where it's either partial custody, it's NPC, right, where multi-party computation, where they have multiple split parts to the seed phrase or to the keys, so they're not the only person in charge of the custody. There are so many other options that just didn't exist even 3 years ago, and even more under development right now. So hopefully we're going into a future where self-custody is not quite so daunting. People can maybe actually wrap their heads around it, and you can get more people doing some of the closest to the best practices, and then not leaving all of their crypto on Coinbase, Binance, BitMEX, et cetera, but certainly away from leverage. So I'm hearing what you're saying. If it were just the choice between like self-custody or being in crypto at all, please be in crypto at all. But there's another quantum leap between using a third-party custodian and like doing 100x leverage over on BitMEX.
I think 100x leverage. Leverage trading is fun though. Okay, this is coming from a guy. I used to trade stock options, which is kind of like leverage trading, right? Because you're controlling 100 shares by essentially paying the price of one share. Same thing, right? You're leverage trading. But yes, I agree. I would not even recommend leverage trading until you're in the market for at least a year and a half, 2 years, until you understand risks, until you can harness your emotions and not let it get in the way of your decision making, which is very, very hard. Even me, who has traded for over a decade, it's still hard now to like when you're really in something emotionally to detach yourself from that and make the correct decision.
On that note, I think I brought you your 10-year chip for being a trader for 10 years.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah. So here I just found this is what you get. I mean, I can be your sponsor, right? Boom, there you go. Your 10-year chip as a trader.
There we go. Look at that, an achievement. Bitcoin? Oh.
It's literally a wooden nickel with
feel
the Bitcoin logo on it. Don't spend it all in one place.
No laser eyes. We're doing wooden Bitcoin eyes glasses. Seth is like, what is this guy on today?
Don't say I never gave
I don't
you
know
anything.
what I'm on today. What I am on is this. I don't know if I want to be on it. I might want to be off of it. But Seth, maybe you can convince me I should be on it.
Ooh.
Ledger launches Recover service despite previous criticisms. Now, just a little backstory real quick. Ledger came out, 3-4 months ago saying, hey, we got a new product, guys. You can pay $10 a month and we'll shard your key, your private key. We'll shard it and we'll send a third to this company. We'll keep a third and we'll send a third to this one. That way, if you lose your seed phrase, we can recover it for you. And you got to do KYC too. That's the thing. Everyone blew up and said, what the hell? I am not updating. People were burning their ledgers. So Ledger came out and said, oh, well, we're going to pump the brakes. We're going to make it open source. We're going to take feedback from the community. And well, guess what they did at the height of euphoria and greed? They relaunched. And well, not relaunched, but they officially launched. So crypto hardware wallet manufacturer Ledger has rolled out a new feature called Ledger Recover, which allows users to back up their recovery seed phrases. The new feature is currently available only on Ledger Nano X, with the service expected to launch soon on other devices. Again, this is what I mentioned. Private keys are encrypted and fragmented. The fragments are thereafter securely distributed to 3 independent companies, namely Ledger, CoinCover, and Escrow Tech. Seth, is this that bad? I mean, it's so hard for me to keep a straight face. Okay, this is terrible.
Can't
but
get through it.
For the sake of good conversation and argument, let me play the other side of this, right? How much money has been lost? Millions of dollars of people forgetting or losing their seed phrase. If all it takes is just a KYC, which people KYC every time they open their phone by scanning their freaking face, and if it's done in a way where it's sharded and it's 3 separate companies have access, why not, right?
Okay, yeah, here's exactly why not. You get characters like Elizabeth Warren and now Cynthia Lummis again, who largely I agree with. we've got like 80% alignment in our worldview of cryptocurrencies. But with what you just said in terms of repeating a false narrative about Hamas being dangerous, this particular cryptocurrency threat being bad, totally uninformed take, which is not characteristic of how Senator Loomis operates,
Right.
but totally uninformed take. People like this can go apply pressure to those 3 institutional custodians. What are they going to do if they get a request from a senator, an informal request from a senator to go and collect the shards of the wallet or the seed phrase of some suspected person? Well, they're probably going to comply. And I mean, we see this when it comes to, say, like cellular records and law enforcement making informal requests. It's extremely common for there to be extrajudicial, right? So not strictly speaking legal or law enforcement related requests that come from law enforcement agencies where information is just surrendered or it's bought and paid for. And you'll have the FBI do this. You'll have local law enforcement do this, where they just go to a telco, right? Your Verizons, your AT&Ts, and say, we're very interested in the records of this user. Here's $50. Literally, it's like, it can be that simple. Here's $50. Sell us their data. And they'll do it because they're like, oh, it's law enforcement. They didn't officially ask us. They didn't show us whatever, a court order, but they paid us $50 and they're law enforcement. So who's going to criticize us? Right. Like, and now you have, so just to lay that out,
Yeah.
the full scenario. Now imagine that, but with your whole goddamn seed phrase.
Let me make it's so hard for me to do this. Okay. But I'm trying to think like a pleb here. Okay. Wouldn't it be harder for them to go after 3 separate companies to get the shards? Right? Because we saw what Apple did. FBI wanted a backdoor to the users. Apple said, go screw yourself, right? What are the chances that all 3 of these companies that have a third of your private key all agree to give it up to the government?
Well, first off, that's what Apple did publicly. What did they do privately?
Stop it.
Yeah. What did they do privately? We can never know. But beyond that, I know consultants in the cybersecurity space who were like, oh yeah, I can crack an iPhone. Get at me. My fee is X dollars. Who do you think the FBI is going to go to next time? Apple, who's publicly saying, yeah, we don't do that. Or the private consulting firm that says, yeah, for $1,500, we will penetrate any iPhone you bring to us. All day, the FBI is going there. They're carving off the $1,500 if the case is high profile enough. So even if Apple did nothing behind closed doors to decrease the friction of cracking into that iPhone, which I doubt. I don't trust Apple. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in Apple's genuine interest in security and privacy. But all I'm going to say is that case, as high profile as it was not what it seemed. I mean, you admitted earlier in the program that you doubt the integrity of the leadership of this country.
Absolutely.
Well, I doubt the integrity of the leadership of large tech companies like Apple. They can sing a really good song, do a really good dance about privacy in all their advertisements, but then they can actually be scraping all the same data that Google is with Android in terms of the SSID of the Wi-Fi hotspot that you just connected to most recently, tracking all the cell towers and getting telemetry and triangulation data for your location, and then keeping an index of how much of that of however much of that information you've given to them from the lifetime of that device, the first time you ever powered it on and gave them an Apple ID. All of that is correlated with your user data. So while they have this really cool looking public policy, they're just as complicit in data aggregation as Microsoft, Google, and well, I was going to say LinkedIn, but they were acquired by Microsoft. All these other companies, Facebook, they've all been complicit. They're consolidating. They're involved in mergers, acquisitions, and sharing of these data sets. And then usually they broker it like any other commodity. It's reached all-time lows in terms of the price of your data. So for Ledger to be involved in this Recover program, it stings 2 ways, right? Adding insult to injury, they're perfectly capable of rolling on any user at any time.
Yeah.
Right, we agree. That's possible, right? Certainly within the realm of possibility. And they're getting you to pay for it. Like, how effed up is that? You're paying for the privilege of these people holding your keys and being far more likely to roll on you to authorities, even without any due process.
I agree. I was playing devil's advocate, but this is look, it's a business model. It's a paid subscription, right? $10 a month. A company's got to make money, right? But if you wanted to do something like this, why wouldn't you just launch a new product? Instead of making people who have Ledger, who are the diehard self-custodians, like myself, say, oh shit, like this is a new update. And at what point are they going to force me to update to the new software? Kind of like Apple forces you, right? At what point, like if you wanted to do something like this, launch a new product. Say, hey, if you want this service, cool. You can only use it on this ledger, and launch a new product and have people go out and buy it or give them a discount to go buy it. But to blanket it across all ledger devices, I know it's only available on the X now, but it'll be available on all of them, the Nano S, the Plus, whatever. It just defeats the purpose of a freaking self-custody. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
If I'm giving a third of my key here, here, and here, what the hell is the point of self-custody? Just keep it on the exchange.
Yeah. Yeah. So David, let me offer a little ray of hope here, a silver lining. And this is going to stay private. We're not going to go public with what I'm sharing here. This is breaking. I'm going to share with you, only you, my DM here from a competing hardware wallet manufacturer. This is a no shill segment, right? But there's still hope, right? You have groups that are this is a DM, I'll anonymize it, from a product manager from a competing hardware wallet asking me for feedback on how to do integration of greater privacy.
Wow.
So
okay.
There's still some good guys. I'm just saying there's still some good guys in the space
Okay.
who are really trying to roll out features that are privacy preserving and that help you be more sovereign as fast as they can. But they're constrained by how fast they can build this stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Right. So just saying.
I can confirm. Obviously, he's not going to show that, but okay, so that's good. It's just like Ledger's the biggest one. Like,
well, we need and that's the problem, right? It's good to be the king. It's good to be the incumbent. But when you start getting too cushy on the throne, too comfortable, eventually someone's going to come up and, you'll find your Brutus before long. Yeah. Someone's going to bring it to you.
AOL used to be the biggest one. Then
AOL.
Yeah,
Blockbuster used to be the biggest one too,
exactly.
right? Did you like Blockbuster?
Oh yeah, man. It was like the only. Well, I liked Hollywood Video too, but
Hollywood dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Talk about a blast from the past. These times are flying, bro. We're already in 2024 pretty much.
Yeah. So
I don't get it. Anyways, guys, Seth, I was scouring the internet and I came across this website. What is this website?
I'm lucky that's the website. You
Curious. Can you tell us about this website?
yeah, well, I mean, to keep it shill free, I'm not selling anything. 21 lessons that are available through email that talk to you a little bit more about securing your own crypto, being somewhat more private, baby steps towards improving in these areas. Because you're not gonna you're not gonna throw your MacBook Pro out the window and go become some like Linux master and do like ultra privacy all the time. So these are just baby steps for things that you can do to become more private, become more sovereign in the way that you hold your cryptocurrencies, and be more like David. Actually,
You know
be
what?
smarter with your crypto.
I'm going to sign up right now.
So yeah, that's the idea there. It is being followed up with a private course that is a private cohort with live streams or private webinars that will be recorded for the future. So posterity will get to figure out what you're doing. But you'll be the first to sign up and be a part of those sessions. And all of that is geared towards privacy, being a more private cryptocurrency and more sovereign cryptocurrency user, because Lord knows, David, we need it.
Yeah, I agree.
The legislators are trying to take away our privileges and our rights or go against, really violate the Constitution here in the United States. And then you've got all these companies that are obviously complicit too. They would roll on you in a heartbeat. The only means of defense is education. And that's what I'm offering here for free.
It's crazy. Last night, I moved a big chunk of money from Coinbase to my ledger. And as soon as I removed it, I realized I lost my seed phrase. So guys, if government, if you're watching and you're trying, I don't have access to my funds anymore. I lost it.
okay.
Rough.
What I haven't lost is the fact that our sponsors are amazing. Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Today's stream is brought to you by them. Visit bluewiretech.com if you want to learn how they can help your business. Also, big thank you to Radix for also sponsoring today's show. Visit radixdlt.com if you want to learn more about their Layer 1 DeFi project, their roadmap, their team, everything they're doing. Also, guys, I did put the link of the website you just saw into the chat. So go on there, email, name, and your ETH, Binance Smart Chain, or Matic wallet address, and you get the 21 free lessons from our friend Seth. If he hasn't shown on the last 1 hour and 10 minutes he's been on the show, the guy knows what he's talking about. I don't know what will. Someone said, now on your website, Seth, you can put as seen on Sin City Crypto. Love it. What else, man? What else? Anything? Well, first of all, second, I want to thank you again for coming in studio. I know you're a busy man. You're getting pulled in a lot of different directions, and you didn't hesitate to come help us out, man. So thank you so much. We love having you on the show. Just great insight, great knowledge, great looking guy, great guns. I shouldn't do that because I don't have big arms. But anyways, guys,
like chat. First off, I want to. Sorry for the interruption. I want to ask, how many likes did this stream get to?
Ha! 141.
I'm just saying we have standard. What if we break 150 right now? I do another double biceps and just for kicks.
150 double biceps.
Can't do the pepperonis. That's 200. It's in the contract.
I used to be jacked, bro.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Start again. What we were doing? What you were doing?
Shut up! If I throw one of these wooden sobriety things at you.
Yeah.
Oh man, guys! Also, go follow us on Twitter at SinCityCrypto1. Check out inandoutcrypto.com for your merch. You'll find Sin City merch, but other merch on there as well. And yeah, it's like things not moving, man. But you can show your guns if you want to.
I mean, okay, fine.
Okay.
I'm a fan of concealed carry, but they're coming out. Oh, there it is. Fully settlement.
You know, again, I wish Robin was here. I'd be making fun of him so much. So much, bro.
Dave's like, hey, this is a 95% male audience. We're not here for that, bro. And you're in Las Vegas. They're way better.
Man, we need to get juiced up here, bro. Bull market's around the corner. I'm here. You're here. Rocco, cue the outro music.
I'm sorry, I'm shooting my beretta.
Listen, bro, what kind of Italian muscles are those?
No guns, it's beretta.
Beretta. It's a beretta, Bellonelli. No, what is the Benelli? No, the shotgun.
Benelli.
Benelli. Baretti. Anyways, outro. Go.
Yeah, Smith and Wills.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It was an amazing show. Come back tomorrow for an even better show, if we can. On behalf of all of us here at Sin City Crypto and on behalf of Seth from Mind Your Biz, we love you guys. Till tomorrow, peace.
Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I?